Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 21324, 123 Sesame Street from the LEGO Ideas theme. This set contains 1,367 pieces, 5 or 6 minifigures depending on how you look at it, and retails for $119.99 in the US. This set was sent to me by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So here's the main build of this set. It's a portion of Sesame Street, probably the most iconic portion of it, and just, wow, this looks so good. You guys probably saw it when it was spinning in the intro, but this looks like such a complete model. This doesn't feel like anything was cut out. Like, obviously, you could expand upon this, but there's just so much room to display figures and so many different things going on. It feels so true to Sesame Street in the original show, while also just being a really nice LEGO model aside from that. I am shocked at how great it is, and I absolutely love it for that. So let me take you through each individual little bit and show you, like, what I love about this set. So I'll start with the smaller building on the left right here. This, as you can see on the sign, is Hoovers. Out front, you can see there's this little bin with some newspapers on it. This one says, Winter Porridge Shortage. This is a stickered piece, not a printed piece, which is unfortunate, because I know that we've gotten, like, printed newspaper pieces in the past, so it would have been cool to get another one here. But the sticker looks fine, and it's not, like, immediately noticeable that's a sticker, so I don't mind it here. And you can also see it says Sesame Street Daily at the top. And then inside the bin, you can see there is yet another sticker newspaper piece. This one is titled, Super Grover Saves the Day Again. And you can see there's a little picture of Grover right there. This is from the Hearsay Daily. That's a really nice reference to Grover there, and I wish he was a minifigure in the set, though because he isn't, I'm glad they at least referenced him here. And then also in the bin, you can see there's a classic Lego carrot build, as well as a classic banana piece. On this bottom floor, you can see there's this green door that hinges open. Really interesting piece to use for a doorknob, but I actually think it looks quite good. I like that quite a bit. But yeah, you can see that hinges open right here. And then if you look inside, you can see there's a variety of products on the wall. So you can see there's peanuts right there. There's a little rainbow. This is orange juice. That one's pretty obvious what that's supposed to be. There's this little design right here. There's this unicorn, and then there's just some builds for some more products. This is really fun. It looks like a really varied store shelf. I love the use of different parts. I'm not sure with when this came out, I think these were like reused from LEGO Dots, which is pretty interesting. Ninjago City's done something similar where they reused some of the LEGO Dots prints in the sets, and I honestly think it's really great, like, reuse of parts. I think they look really, really cool here and just, like, make for a really interesting shelf. And then we take a look at the other wall. You can see there's this chair right here for a character to sit at this counter right here. There's this little place for minifigures to purchase products. You can see there's a coin on the counter right there and a coffee right there, as well as a cash register. We'll take a closer look at that from the other side in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you it from this side right here. And that's about it for this first level. There's quite a few studs, so if you want to post some figures in here, you can definitely fit quite a few. But in terms of detail, there's not much else going on. The room above that is this little area to sit and watch TV. You can see there's this big, bright yellow chair. Really cool color. I don't see that color used too often, so it's cool to see a build, like, made entirely out of it. Tiny little table in front of it, and then there's this TV set right here. The TV set comes with 2 printed VCR tapes, and it's got a stickered piece of a Muppet news anchor, just, like, giving a report. I like the parts usage on this. This is like a twig piece right here that they have in black to represent the antennas coming out of the TV. I just think that looks really cool, and it's really creative, like, use of parts. A golden bowl in the back corner, and above that, a golden frog and a golden minifigure statue. And then, if you haven't noticed, there's this frame picture of the Count. Another figure that I really wish came in this set, but as he didn't, I'm glad he's at least being referenced. Speaking of the Count being referenced, he's also referenced up here immediately above his photo as a little bat. And then there's this air conditioning unit, which I've seen them use in, like, I think Ninjago City actually uses these air conditioning unit builds, so it's cool how they have, like, a sort of consistent air conditioner, like, build that they use across multiple themes. But yeah, that's just right up here, because there's a little, like, printed timer piece on the side. Coming to the other side, there's that counter and cash register, as well as the interior of Hoovers from a different angle. It's hard to show because there's a lot in the way, so I can't really get the camera in there, but you can see there's a stickered piece of, like, a checkered pattern below the counter. And I just want to comment on that because I think that actually just looks really, really nice. Outside Hoovers, there's a chair as well as a little table. Again, really like that sticker on the table. I think that's a really cool texture and it looks quite good. The fence behind it is made out of black skeleton leg pieces with, like, a Sensei Wu staff going over top. I know they've used skeleton legs as fence posts, like, many times before, but I still think it's always really cool when they do that because I don't know, it's really good use of that part. Another really creative bit of parts usage is this right here. So you can see there's, like, an orange, like, leaf piece right there. This leaf piece has been coming in sets for a few years, but I've never seen an orange before. I'm not sure if it's new for this set, but it's definitely uncommon in this color. But the really interesting piece is this part coming out, this, like, tan piece right here. This is actually Kevin from LEGO Minions, the tall minion from Minions. That's his hairpiece recolored in tan. And I just think that's awesome because, like, his hairpiece was such a specialized piece, but it's really cool that they could use it for, like, a little stem to a flower as well. It looks really nice, and it's just such a cool part to get recolored. I love it. Next to that, we have this little lamppost, which uses Harry Potter candle pieces all stacked up on top of each other to create, like, the pole of the lamppost. Moving next to the wall of the bigger building, because it's right here next to the area I just showed you, you can see there's like this magical looking sort of garden in front of this mural of Abby Cadabby. Again, I think she's probably the third and final character I felt really should have been included in this set. There's other characters that are referenced, but I feel like they aren't big enough deals to have to come in this set. But her, Count, and Grover definitely would have been really cool. But regardless, this is a really nice reference to her because I feel like this entire garden, more than just the mural, is a reference to her. You can see there's like a classic LEGO Magical Wand piece here. I'm surprised this piece is still being produced, but I remember always loving this part as a kid, so I'm happy it's still coming in sets nowadays. And then you just have different colors of leaves and flowers and foliage all around. I feel like I'm saying the word classic a lot, but I use classic to describe like older LEGO pieces, but this right here, this is like a classic LEGO flower piece, well this is a more modern one, but they use the classic piece upside down to give it a really unique look, and then they use yellow leaves coming out. And it just looks really, really cool. I love that. Next, we'll come around to the front of the building, and you can see this is the area where Oscar the Grouch stays. But I'm going to remove him. We'll take a look at him when we take a look at the minifigures. You also get a printed tile piece of Slimy the Worm right here, which I think is so creative. This is the heart-shaped tile piece, but you can see how they like had a little worm drawn on it to make it look like it's shaped like a worm instead. And yeah, that's just really, really creative. I love that. You can see Oscar himself just attaches to this jumper piece right here. And then there's a little bit of more trash next to it. You can see there's a pizza box, a green trash bag, and then a tire piece. All really nice parts that I feel like, I don't know, kids would have fun playing with. I know this set's more targeted towards adults than kids, but it's always really cool to get like different minifigure accessories in sets. To get into this little trash area, there's this gate right here. And then finally in this area, there's actually a pretty nice looking recycle can build. In front of that little trash area, there's also this cute little fire hydrant build. It uses a LEGO Star Wars BB-8 head for the top, and I think that works really well. Then we come to the stairs in front of the building, but we'll take a look at those in a moment. Let me move to the other side first. Next, here we have the iconic Sesame Street sign. It says 123 Sesame Street, and I absolutely love the fact that these pieces are printed. They are not stickers. So many pieces in LEGO nowadays are stickers. Pretty much if a print is not going to be reused in multiple sets, it's going to be a sticker instead of a print. So I would have suspected they would have stickered this because it's never ever going to be reused. But they took the care to print it, and I really, really appreciate it because it looks so much nicer, and I love it. Yeah, that's so cool. The rest of the line post is pretty good too. You use this orb that I believe is also used for Mysterio's head in Spider-Man. I think this is a different color. This is a white color while he uses blue, I believe. And then it's on the Fabuland like lamppost piece that's been used in modular buildings for a little while, but recolored in green. And I'm not sure if that's new for that piece, but I've definitely never gotten in that color before, so it's really cool to get it there. And then directly below that, there's this little mailbox build, which is creative. It uses syringes as the feet of the mailbox, which is creative, but it's not attached to anything. It sort of just hangs here loose, which I don't love because I feel like that's very easy for it to get knocked over. It also means it's very easy to remove if you don't want that in your build at all. But yeah, I just find it strange how it's not connected, and it's not the only build on the set that's like that, but we'll go to that in a little bit. Next, the build on the other side, I believe, is Big Bird's Nest. You can see there's a little portrait of Mr. Snuffleupagus right here. I think this is a tinier mailbox specifically for Big Bird. Here's the nest itself. You can see there is a teddy bear piece in there, as well as 2 blue roller skates, which are really cool parts to get. This entire crate section can actually be removed as well. And behind it, you can see there's a little stickered portrait of Mr. Hooper. And then you can see this little chair right here that the nest is built. It can actually be moved ever so slowly. So if you want to have it knocked down, you can. If you want to have it up, you can. There's this little orange box in it, as well as a black roller skate piece. It's been a long time since I watched Sesame Street. I was very, very young the last time I watched it, so I'm not familiar with every reference in this set, but I'm sure that's a reference to something from the show. Okay, now we come to the iconic stairs and doorway right here. This is where so much of the show is shot, where characters just sit and talk to celebrity guests or whatnot. And there's a ton of room here. You can definitely fit a ton of characters on here. You fit your own characters. There's room before you even get to the door. I appreciate how spacious this is, and I think it just looks really, really good. I love how they did this. You can see the doorway. Above it says 123. Of course, that's the house address. And this, again, is a print, not a sticker, which I really, really appreciate. Thank you, LEGO, for doing that. And as to be expected, these doors can be pushed open. And once you open up to the inside, this leads into Elmo's room. There's this little sticker design on this wall which has more references to the show, more like pictures of different characters. There's this accessory of a stuffed bunny, which is very similar to the stuffed bear that we looked at in Big Bird's Nest. But this is a far rarer piece. I've never gotten this one before, so it's super cool to get it in this set because I think it was totally unnecessary, but it's just such a cool accessory to get. On his bedside, you can see there's a fishbowl piece, which looks so cool. I love that. And then a little rocket build. These 2 little drawers also, of course, open up, though there's nothing in them. By his bedside, you can see there's portraits of more different Sesame Street characters. Going around the bed, there's like this little toy train track build. The train doesn't actually move, the track is just some pieces, but it looks really cool, and I love the little train build. I think it's super cute. And then yeah, that leads to his bed right here, which you can see is blue with a lighter blue on the inside, some pillows right there. So if you want, you can set Elmo on it and have him fall asleep. On his bedside, you can see there's a little lamp build, and then an orange sphere, which that might be a basketball, or I'm not sure exactly what that's supposed to be. And above his bed, there's a printed piece of a bridge, which is just a classic LEGO printed piece that's not new for this set, that's just existed in other sets before. Then if we move up to the upper level, we have Bert and Ernie's room. Here are their two beds, and you can see there's tons of stuff on the walls here. This is a stickered piece of what looks to be a collection of different bottle caps. There's the little stickered piece that's supposed to look like a box of paper clips on the one bed. A black orb on this wall, maybe that's supposed to be a bowling ball. A little stickered portrait of Bert and Ernie, that's really cute. And then an unprinted Jurassic World baby raptor build, which is so cool. Like, so many cool parts from this set. I absolutely love the collection here. Speaking of cool unprinted parts from other themes, this lamp right here is a Minecraft skeleton head. Just completely unprinted, and wow, that looks awesome. I can't believe they used that part there, but it looks great. Next to the beds, there's this dark green chair for one of them to sit in. There's a little bookshelf behind that, and then a stickered clock piece above that. And then finally, at the very end, there's this bathtub right here with a rubber ducky, and obviously this is meant to put Ernie in here to recreate like one of his most iconic scenes. Coming around to the outside of this upper level, you can see there's a few plants right here, as well as a carton of milk. Not sure what that's doing there outside of Bert and Ernie's beds, but okay. Above the doorway, there's some pretty nice texturing. There are these two windows at the front that open up into their rooms. And then on the other side, there's this little balcony right here. You can see there's a little plant going right here. There's a little guardrail and a ladder which you can hinge if you want a character to be able to get down to the floor. Above that, a huge stickered piece which has an advertisement for Biff and Sully's Construction Company. Yet another reference to the show. Finally, if we come up to the very top, you can see those two bird pieces right here. These guys are super cute, always happy to get them. There's a little antenna up here, as well as a little vent. On the other side, there's a chimney build with some smoke coming out. And then finally, up here, there's this thing, which I don't know what this is. This thing doesn't connect in any way, it just sort of sits on the roof, and as I said, I haven't watched Sesame Street since I was a very young child, so I don't remember every reference to the show. I'm sure this is a reference to something, but it doesn't immediately jump out to me as anything, so if you guys know what this is, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this thing just sort of sits up there with everything else. But yeah, there is the build. I'll go into more detail when I do like my overall summary after I review the minifigures, but I adore this set, I adore this build, it's super well done, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough, it's great. But let's move on to the minifigures. So here are the first two minifigures in the set. We have Elmo and we have Cookie Monster. And while both of these figures are very simple, they're really well done. They're immediately recognizable as who they're supposed to be. You could show this to literally anybody and they'd immediately know who these guys are. They have their mouths open, which I usually don't like molded heads in a specific expression, but because these characters are supposed to be puppets and like that's the way they move their mouths, I think it still fits them really well and they just look like themselves. It would have been nice if their torsos had a little bit of printing, like maybe just some tufts of fur to just give them a little more detail. Like the same way their heads have like fur molded into them and they're not like perfectly round. But that's a minor thing. I think as they are, they look fantastic. I think they're really good looking. You can see in terms of accessories, Cookie Monster, unsurprisingly, comes with 2 cookies. Elmo, on the other hand, in addition to all the things we already showed you in this house, comes with this book, Cooking with Oatmeal. And if you open it up, you can see on the inside there's a stickered piece with a recipe for oatmeal. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about these guys, except they capture the characters really well, and I love them. They're just fantastic. Here are the next 2 figures. We have Bert and we have Ernie. And once again, both of these, quite well done. The new molded heads capture all their iconic features. You have their hair done perfectly, their eyes are wide, you have their mouths open. These two definitely are not as good as Elmo and Cookie Monster simply because they're more complex designs. I think Ernie, specifically, the transition between his head and his torso isn't as smooth as I'd like it to be. I wish he had more of a neck molded into him, but that's a minor thing. He still looks very good. Again, instantly recognizable, looks great. And nice torsos on both of these guys too. I think they're useful outside of the context of Sesame Street, which is pretty cool. And dark green mid-legs on Bert as well, which is a pretty cool color for that part. I think it came on the Stranger Things set previously, but it's still cool to get it again. But yeah, once again, quite well done. I really love these guys. And then finally, we have Big Bird and we have Oscar the Grouch. Big Bird, I think, looks great. They captured the shape of his body really well. I love how the beak comes out. I love the colors in the eyes and everything. And the reuse of the chicken suit guy wings actually works really well here. Nice leg printing too. You can see this wraparound printing of the stripes on the legs. In terms of aesthetics, this guy does look quite nice. My only issue with him comes in the fact of the material that he's made out of. I was expecting this guy to be hard plastic because like previous figures like this, like say Chewbacca is hard plastic, but Big Bird is actually made out of rubber. Like the same material that say like Harumi from Ninjago's hair is made out of. And I've never been the biggest fan of rubber pieces, but especially one this big, I don't love. Rubber pieces tend to have printing rub off way easier, so you have to be really careful with those eyes right there. Additionally, I don't know, there's just something about it that doesn't feel Lego to me. I'm okay with a little bit of rubber, but this much, just such a huge shape. Yeah, something's a little off about it. I don't know, that might just be my own personal taste, but I wish it was done in plastic instead. But that's a minor thing in terms of aesthetics. As I said, I think this guy looks perfect. You can see he's got the head, the body, and he even has a little tail coming out the back. And then Oscar is for sure the weakest one of the bunch. He does not have a custom molded head, he just uses this rounded piece in a classic Lego trash can piece. And if you pull the head out, he's just on a minifigure head. He looks very strange like this. But I don't think I dislike this figure as much as a lot of people do. I think it looks good. It still captures Oscar immediately. Again, not as good as the rest, but still fine. I don't think you needed a huge body for him. It would have been cool to get it, but I appreciate that this gave them a way to give us another character in the set without having to do like any more specialized pieces. Yeah, I still like him for what he is. He could be better, but he could also be worse. And if you're curious, there's what he looks like with the lid off the top of his head. You can see he's just got a stud on top of his head. Very, very strange. So, overall, what do I think of this set? If you couldn't tell, I adore it. I think it's wonderful and great, and it's so well done. So much creative parts usage. There's so many just unique parts of this set, and they're all used in such cool ways, and I love that. It's using LEGO to its truest potential. This really feels like it was made by a fan, which it was. It's a LEGO Ideas set. Yeah, I love it, and I would love to see more of this from LEGO. It's a great value, too. Almost 4,000 pieces for $120 is pretty good. 5 exclusive minifigures, 6 if you count Oscar, and all the actual minifigures have new molded heads and are completely exclusive to this set. My only real criticism is I wish it came with more figures. I honestly wouldn't have minded if the set was $10 or $20 more expensive and it also came with Grover and Count and Abby Cadabby, because I feel like those are the characters that were definitely missing most from this set, but all of the most iconic characters are here at least. You have Elmo, you have Big Bird, you have Cookie Monster, you have Oscar, you have Bert, and you have Ernie. If LEGO could only pick 6, they picked the right 6. However, I do wish there was a few more. But that's a minor thing. I think this set is superb, and if you're a fan of the set, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's a great building experience, a great representation of what it's supposed to represent. There's just so much to love here. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO videos like this every single day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!